Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to COD Ghost Map Progression. This is my map guide series where I go over all of the maps in Call of Duty Ghost multiplayer and give you guys not only a good look at the map but also an ideal creator class setup or just some general techniques that are going to work really well for you if you're struggling on any of these maps, as well as show you the dynamic events that are available as well. In today's episode we're going to be looking at TREMOR. So TREMOR is an urban map. It's based in kind of the aftermath of an earthquake hit city. It's quite a small map actually. I'd say it's one of the smallest other than Strike Zone, which is obviously known as the smallest map in the game. But this is one of the very few maps on release that actually suits close quarters combat. Now there are periodical tremors during the map itself, and these actually trigger off the dynamic map events on this map. Now the dynamic map events on this map are very subtle, and for me they're kind of almost aesthetic. There's not really much point to them. They don't change much at all, but you might as well be aware of what they are. So there are a couple of dynamic events on this map and they are both very subtle. They're both related to the tremors and when they happen. The first one here is this area. When the first tremor strikes, the ground will open up here, exposing this gas pipe, and they will set fire to itself, and that will be on fire for a while. It will eventually go out. If you want to set it on fire again, you can shoot it, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference. If you do go on that fire, it will do some damage to you, so you don't want to run over that once it's actually active. The second event is just this pole that slams down onto the car when the second tremor hits. Again, nothing that will change lines of sight or anything like that, but you probably don't want to be in the way of that when that happens. Now TREMOR is a map where if you work it correctly you can keep almost all of your sightlines very short range. There are some medium and slightly longer sightlines on the map, but for the most part, especially if you know how to work the map, you can keep most of your battles in close quarters combat. So because of this, I would definitely recommend a submachine gun or shotgun. Now I'd even say shotgun because I know a lot of the maps do not suit the shotgun, and the shotguns are quite good on this map. So it's a nice map to introduce you into how to use shotguns properly in Call of Duty, because a lot of the time people pick them up on a large map, maybe they don't think how to actually play with one, and they just end up getting killed at long medium sight lines and they get fed up with them and they don't use them. But this is an absolute perfect map for a shotgun setup. So everything that's to do with shotguns that's going to be useful to you, Ready Up is an amazing perk. I'd recommend that with any setup where you're going to be sprinting a lot, and I would recommend that for this because you want to be sprinting towards buildings and towards areas that are going to be close quarters combat. Other than that, perhaps amplify so you can hear people coming, but most of those perks kind of depend on the game mode. So anything that you feel comfortable with in a kind of rushing close quarters combat situation, just go with those perks. Okay, so shotguns and submachine guns are ideal for this map, and the key building for me is this building right here. Especially if you're playing free-for-all with a short-range weapon, you can dominate the match just by using this one building. Now, although there are 3 entrances here, this stairs here, the stairs on the other side, which is there, and also this opening, people very rarely come through this opening. I'd say less than 5% of the time when someone enters this building, it's going to be from there. The reason being, in this area you are very exposed, so you don't get too many people actually going through this area because people can be up there. They're often up on those 2 ledges there looking across here, so you don't really want to be running through here too often. So as a result of that, you only normally get people running through these 2 stairways. And if you've got amplify on, or even if you're just running a good headset with dead silence, you can easily hear people coming. Now at these ranges that are within this building, your shotgun or submachine gun is going to outgun pretty much everything, especially if you have Ready Up and you can just bring your gun up ready for the gunfight straight away. I've found that I could rack up huge streaks just by doing that. So this building is the one you want to get in. Also, if you spawn anywhere within this side of the map, you can get into this building quite easy. Now you can go down this side, which will allow you to kind of get to the other side of the map, a different route if maybe that one's blocked off, but you're so much more exposed here. You'll lose that gunfight there if there's someone up there. You'll probably lose that one if there's someone in the window. This kind of range, you'll lose that gunfight. And this is the same for most of the map really, and why you want to stay indoors. You'll probably lose that gunfight unless you can get close. So every time you can, you want to head into a building, whereas in here, you're going to win most of these gunfights. As long as your aim's pretty sweet and pretty spot on, you're going to win most of these kind of gunfights. However, as soon as you're exposed, say out in these areas, along here, this is a medium to long range sightline. You're going to lose every single gun battle there. So if you find yourself in this area, the first thing you want to do is either go right around the outside outside and try and kind of hug the wall over there, or get inside. You've got this door here. Now this is one thing about this map that I notice a lot of people don't know about. You can actually move this, which will mean that you can get up to here easier. So if you come down this corner here, sometimes you're going to lose a lot of gunfights. There's going to be people over in that kind of area where that helicopter crashes and that petrol station is. But what you can do is you can even just tap jump and run up here, and then you'll be inside this building a lot safer with a close quarters weapon, shotgun or submachine gun. Or if this has already been moved across, so this isn't actually there to climb on, you can actually just jump up. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes. If you time it a little bit wrong, you won't get there, so you might want to push that across and make it a little bit easier. I don't know, or maybe this is just a good place for you to stand, or kind of stand and lean if you'd like to do that. But just something you should know, because that's one thing I didn't know until I actually looked into it a little bit further. And you can get up here, although this isn't really a safe place to go when you've got a short range weapon. I definitely recommend getting back inside, or as soon as you can, just hopping over here and getting over to this side. So in conclusion, that TREMOR is a close quarters combat map that you can use a shotgun, submachine gun on, and you should be able to do quite well, especially if you take the tips away from this video. The dynamic events this map are pretty non-existent. There are a couple of just purely aesthetic ones, but they're not going to change how the map plays at all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well if you did, and for more map guides like these, as well as gold gun guides, and I'll see you guys next time.